All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Sorry for the delay. Literally, oh, hold on a second. There we go. That should be better. Literally, as soon as I started the stream, the cat knocked over a house plant and got a bunch of dirt and water everywhere. So I had to rush to clean that up. Literally happened like right after I clicked the start stream button. Goodness gracious. Anyway, let me just get my bearings here. Usually I prepare all this stuff while we're waiting for people to come in, but had to deal with a mess. Okay. So yeah, we're continuing on with what we're doing this morning. I'm not going to do the ads or anything, but you can wishlist Alchemortis. It's in the description below if you want. But yeah, we just want to continue adding these headers to various places that need them. So this panel header here, confirmation dialog. Oh, I'm already handling this when we ended here, right? Yeah, so if I do panel header.text equals header. Okay, cool. So I think the only thing that might need options menu. I think the options menu is like the last one that we need to add, so we'll do that. But anyway, hello Clickertail, welcome back. Round 2 code. Hello Ninja Link. How are you doing? Welcome back. Tyler Howard, dev time again. Yes indeed, welcome. A person who exists. Hello, welcome. Good to see you again. Another stream. Son of a bee. Hello Neozoid. Hello Real Crudo, welcome back. Thank you Potril for the Prime subscription. Thank you. That's very generous. Very much appreciate that. I love your game. Thank you. Thank you. Emerson, welcome. Hello, V. Hello, Hall and Mel's. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome back. So hopefully we'll do some fun stuff in the stream. Probably not. No, I mean, we'll see if we can do something interesting in this stream. I've been itching to get into making some more content, so we may take a little content break. But I do have a bunch of bugs and various UX things that I want to fix up. But first, we're going to get rid of this. This one, we're going to call this... where did that panel header go? Here it is. Oh, you know what I should do? I should make sure that this is not... We're going to turn ignore on and behavior recursive disabled. Just make nice and sure that the mouse is not being intercepted there at all. Okay, options menu. I think I'm calling these UI panel header options, something like that. Okay, let's go to my EN base, UI panel header options. You know what I'm kind of tempted to do? Maybe this would be overkill. I'm kind of tempted to create like a nice way of dynamically generating these things. Like I almost want to come up with like a programmatic way of defining these things. So for example, I could do something like, could set up a pattern which is like, you know, TR underscore, and then do something like, or I could do this, TR like that, and then type my string here. I would love to be able to do something like this in the editor and then have my translation generator basically read the source files, all the source files in the project, and scan for strings that look like this, and then take whatever this key is here as the message ID, and then whatever the string is here as the string. So that way I don't have to keep adding stuff. Like then everything truly becomes like all of the translations would be generated from either my source file, well, from my source files, either my scene files or my script files, without me having to go in here and add these manually. I don't know if that's actually worth the effort though, because it's not that big of a deal to add things here. But I think it would be nice to like just come up, because I'm thinking about like future projects too, right? Like I'm probably going to want to do a translation generator approach for my future projects. And so to the extent that I can generalize this and have like a little toolkit of things I can do for translations, I think that would be really cool. And it wouldn't be hard at all, because like you look at the scene file. So you can literally just like load up this as raw text, right? And then you can just use a regex to look for like anything with tr, open, close, parentheses, and then you can just pull these arguments out. You can just parse those out, and then use that as data for the translation file. I'm kind of tempted to do that. That would be quite a side quest, but it would also be really fun. Now, the problem here, though, is that I would need to have a runtime way of parsing this as well. So maybe that's not... You know what? This may actually be... I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent, but this might actually be a good use of like the metadata. How do you actually do that? Oh, add metadata. This might actually be a good use of the metadata. We could do type of string. I probably would still want to prefix it with like tr, UI panel, header. I don't know. It's not really worth. It's not really worth it. But just trying to think of ways I could further make my little translation toolkit a little bit nicer. But anyway, we are not going to worry about that. Right now, it would just be, yeah, you know, figuring out ways that I can make this super generic so I can plug and play as much as possible into a future project and have that just ready to go. Anyway, lots of resume and reference fixes for this job hunt. Yeah, how's that going? Celestial General, welcome. I found an incredibly funny build in Alchemortis. Oh yeah, what is that? How do I not follow here? Woot. Yeah. Nice. Very good. Okay, so this says settings now. One second. This light is too bright. Is that better? I might be a little dark. At this time of day, the light comes in like right into my eyes, and it's not super fun to look at a computer screen with that coming at me. Hopefully that's all right. Alrighty, so we want to open up the settings. There we go. Are there any other panels that I'm missing? So abandon run is there, settings there, quit to menu. We've got the welcome header there. This unlocks was a little bit different. The problem with this unlocks text is this is not translated. So that's unfortunate. Let's see, let's do this. I want to see, do I need a confirmation for the tutorial? Let's see, ignore save file, ignore unlocks, suppress tutorial, skip menu, all that stuff off. We will do clear save data. And we'll take a gander at this. Welcome. Do I not have any? What other confirmation dialogues do I have? The save continue run confirmation dialog, right? So if I quit to menu, the problem is that's not going to save because I have generate test map on. I'm planning on starting up development on my own game again. It kind of took the backseat for a while there. Continue run. Would you like to continue your save run? If you choose no, all progress will be lost. I fixed it so that if you hit escape on this confirmation dialog, it will just do a no op. So if you're like, what? Yes. Okay. We are golden, pony boy. I don't think there's anything else. This is a problem here. I need to figure out what to do about this. I'm still not happy with how this combat log looks. Shoot, I may need to move. I may need to actually end up moving the combat widget over. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm really liking the new alchemy position though. And I like the little decorations too. The decorations look great in here. I like that. Okay. Well, I think that's it for the headers. I think that the panels look immediately better with just this little header decoration. Like I said, I do want to redo the panel art as well. I'm not entirely happy with how this art looks. I wonder... Yeah, I don't know. Should do like wrought iron fences or something, like gothic wrought iron fences, but we will worry about that later. We'll call that one done. All right, click to close inventory is not working. Let's fix this bug. Let's see why that's happening. Screen dimmer. We have color bleed here. Inventory spacer. Widget margin container. Buttons. All right, let's see what's happening here. First of all, am I even connecting to the screen dimmer component? Clicked signal in here. I am calling try close there. Now I got to change all my debug settings again. Ignore save file, ignore unlocks, skip menu, and suppress tutorial. Added a new thing to the cards. I've added a waveform to the cards and tried to match it as close to the real thing as possible, so all the cards have a little window with waveform. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Oh, wait, so that... Oh, if I click... Huh? So it works the first time I do it, then it doesn't work for subsequent. Oh. I know why that's happening. I changed it so that when undim is called, it sets the mouse filter to ignore. This was made with the assumption... I think actually that's probably fine. I just need to reset that filter up there. That's why that's happening. I'm pretty sure that's going to fix it, so we'll just preemptively move that over to done while it's building. Yeah, that seems to work. Should also still work if I do this and that and this and that and this and that. Okay, awesome. All right, so that's good, that's good. We have another problem here, which is that when I quick move items, if they go from the inventory across to the combat board, they actually end up going behind the alchemy drawer. So that's a draw order issue. Probably want to tackle that one next. Okay. So, yeah. So I think the quick move, let me think about this. This may be a situation where I actually want to use the Z index. Let me think about. So I already have this problem solved for dragging, but I think the thing with dragging, yeah, I actually have a card drag route here. So there's actually a node 2D in the card mouse events manager, which has a canvas layer of 99. When I'm dragging a card, it gets moved to this card drag route. And so that's how it renders on top of everything when I'm dragging an item. But for quick move, I think what happens is it actually places the item on the board, and then it just animates the position from what its original position was. So it ends up retaining the draw order of its parent, right? Or it gets drawn at the time or right after its parent. And so that makes sense, right? Because the inventory is drawn first, and then the alchemy container is drawn second on top of it. So when I quick move, or, well, it would be the player board in this instance. The core issue is that the player board now, wait a second. So the core issue here is, I actually don't know why that's happening. Where the heck is the player board? So it's in this remaining width spacer. Yeah, this is drawn first, then alchemy is drawn, then inventory is drawn. Right. So, yeah, the alchemy, I mean, it's just unavoidable that the alchemy is being drawn on top of this. I don't know if I want to use Z index, though. Animate displacement. Let me think about this. Yeah, so it's placing the card on the new board, and then it's just animating the position. So it already exists on the new board as soon as you do a quick move. It's just the visuals of the card are being animated from this massive offset corresponding to where it is in local space on the old board, and it's being just animated back to vector 2.0, so it ends up in the spot where it's supposed to be on the board visually. Do I really want to change the Z index? I don't think that's going to work. I think it's going to create some issues. I mean, maybe not though. Let's see. Animate displacement. This is going to be annoying. Well, let's try it. Let's try it. So let's do bool modify Z index. Actually, where is this called? Right, so it's called during the displacement. It's also called, oh, it's just called during displacement twice. Yeah. So modify Z index. I would only want to supply that during the quick move. So if I say modify Z index true, okay, we'll set this to false by default. We're going to need to change this displacement tween to a cleanup tween because we don't want to get stuck in a state where the Z index has been modified. So I could do displacement tween.kill. That's correct. Oh, that was wrong before, but it's fine now. Okay, so we want to do cleanup tween.create. For this, my cleanup action is going to be if modify Z index. Z index equals 0. Then we're going to do dot tween. Let's just put this as part of the tween as well. Dot tween action. Z index equals 1. So my cleanup tween is basically just a wrapper around a tween, but it allows me to specify a cleanup function that will be executed if the tween is killed or if it finishes. So I basically guaranteed that this function will be called whenever the tween terminates for whatever reason. And I want that, right? Because if I'm setting the tween Z index here, if I'm setting the Z index as an action here, but then let's say the displacement tween gets interrupted before this finishes, you know, I can't just rely on the tween finished signal because this could be interrupted and it could get stuck at a Z index of 1, which is just a problem with tweens. So there's no, I think this should be built into Godot. Like, I wish there was a way to hook into whenever a tween terminates for whatever reason, but there isn't. So I wrote my own wrapper that guarantees that the Z index essentially is going to be set back to 0, however this tween ends up terminating. So that should be fine. The only problem I have with this is that I'm actually not sure if this is going to create the result that I want. What I'm worried about especially is if I like pause the game while a quick move is happening. Oh, I guess that's not really possible. Oh, I gotta mash. Oh, I gotta mash it real quick. Oh, gosh. Okay. So that Z index is working. So you can see that the items are tweening across the alchemy board. Oh, but it's getting clipped here. Fudge. Ah, that sucks. The problem is I set clip contents on this alchemy drawer control to true. So when I quick move this, it's a child of this whole control, and so it's being clipped even though its Z index is set. Wow. Okay, so I have a couple of options here now. I could either figure out a different way of getting my items to render properly, although I think that's going to be a problem no matter what I do, because the problem is this is just going to clip anything that's outside of its bounds. So it's just not going to work if this is a child of the board in here. Oh, man. So I actually probably need to change. I have clip. Let me think about this. I have clip contents here. which is basically just designed to keep any decorations and whatnot confined to this area. If I turn this off, the mushroom peeks through, right? I may just need to move the clipping to here somehow. I'm using a center container here. I wonder, let me think about this. I wonder if I should move all that clipping and stuff to this inner part. Yeah, I probably need to restructure some things here. Okay. Basically what I need to do is I need to get this clipping so that any of these decorations clip, but nothing that's going to be in the board will clip. Because I don't want that. How in the world am I going to do this? The other option that doesn't require so much restructuring is I could just throw a bounding box around this and just like match it up as nicely as possible. I don't like that option though. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see what we can do about this. Let's move this out, get rid of the center container. I honestly don't... I don't really understand this. This whole scene is just kind of... This is one of those scenes in the game which has undergone like several changes since I implemented it originally. So there's probably a lot happening here that if I were to design this scene from scratch would not be happening. How is this even working? Well, that's definitely not going to work. So I'm thinking what I'll do is I will... Is it worth it to do this? We add the center container here. Make this the scene root. Oh, goodness. Move all these things out here. Merchant container. Alchemy container. We'll just make that tall just to indicate what's happening here. The layout mode, the container sizing, we're going to do fill and fill. So we should end up with something like this. Yeah, so we've got our alchemy container now. We've got a margin container here. Unfortunately, all the decorations are in here. So how in the world am I going to actually clip these? This margin container is basically just to keep everything spaced correctly. Yeah, the fundamental problem here is that I need to exclude this board from being clipped. But the other problem is that I want the board to render behind like the spoon and stuff. I may just have to do the sloppy option. I don't know. How do you organize your folder structure for a project? Do you keep scenes and scripts separate from each other? I do, yeah. I mean, you can kind of see the loose structure here. I've got my scenes, I've got my scripts. These are separate things. I've got resources. And then I've also got assets. And all these directories mirror each other when possible. So like if I go to scripts auto load announcements, I should be able to also find scenes auto load announcements here. So when there are scripts matched up with scenes, they have mirrored directories, and the same is true for like resources and stuff. Assets, same deal. I try to roughly match assets up with like a certain path. So like assets UI alchemy, right? And then I have scenes UI alchemy. So I try to match this up when possible, but the reason I keep them separate is because it is inevitably the case that there isn't a perfect matchup. Like it's inevitably the case that you're going to have assets that belong to multiple scenes, right? Or belong to multiple areas of the game. It's inevitable that you're going to have just pure scripts, so they're going to need their own scripts directory anyway. So I don't like to co-locate. Like a lot of people say, well, organize your project by feature or function, right? So if I were to do that, I would put all the assets related to alchemy, all the sound effects and sprites and whatnot inside of this alongside the scenes and the scripts. But I don't like to do that. I like to break things up by type instead and then mirror the directories. That's just a personal preference. I don't think it really matters, but it's like a little kid with your feedback yesterday. I got so excited. Thank you, Frowsy Frog, for the raid. Appreciate that. Thank you. For anyone new that's here for the raid, this is my game Alchemortis that we're working on. It's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you can use alchemy to create your own builds and synergies. So if that sounds interesting, give it a wish list. It's going to come out later this year. And I'm also doing playtests semi-regularly for this game. So if you want to try it, you can hit up the Discord to be notified when the next playtest goes live. What are we doing? QL? No, I'm actually trying to fix some clipping issues with related to the quick move for items. I think I probably broke this scene, so it's probably not going to work. Yeah. Basically, there's a problem. This alchemy drawer was set to clip contents, but when I quick move a card from one board to the alchemy board, it becomes a child of the alchemy board, but it still needs to animate from the original board over to the alchemy board. The problem is that since this container was set to clip, the card is invisible until it gets into the area here. And I think, I mean, I need the clipping, because if the clipping is not there, then, like things like the mushroom end up outside of the container. So I don't know what to do about this. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't like this solution, but what I may have to do is just say, okay, this clip container's width is 130. So I'll create a 130 wide rectangle in here, and I will just wrap the things that need to be clipped with that. That's not us. Like, I don't love that solution, but at the same time, I don't know what else to do about this. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get the clipping to work here with the way that I want the rendering order to happen as well. Basically, the board needs to be excluded from clipping, but it also needs to preserve its draw order in this scene. So that means that the floor still needs to render before the board, and the spoon and everything needs to render above the board. But all these elements should be clipped if they leave that area. So honestly, I'm just gonna have to do the solution that I didn't really like, but that's okay. I don't really feel like restructuring my entire scene right now, so let's just do this real quick. Modify z-index of quick move card. So we'll just push that. Okay, so now to the alchemy drawer. Here we'll disable clipping on this one, and then we're just gonna have to go and selectively clip the things inside of the alchemy container. Which again, I don't love that, but I really don't know what else to do without fundamentally restructuring everything. I mean, the other option too is to like move the quick move card to a parent that is not the board until it's finished animating, but that feels like too much state to manage as well. So what is this? Alchemy container and board placement lock. Oh, was that old? Maybe that was old. Oh, but now the problem here. Oh, why is this so difficult? Why is that so difficult? Hello, Initial. Welcome. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. Elliptic, for the rate of 46. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a little bit behind in the chat. Sorry. Sorry, short about instance placeholder and started using it. Super cool. Awesome. Need to go have a good stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. Glad you liked it. So in the zone, he hasn't seen the 2 raids yet. Yeah, sorry about that. Do you remember how it was creating your first game? I do remember how it was. It was a little game in Game Maker drag and drop where you play as a teddy bear that like shot other teddy bears with like little orbs. That's the first game that I remember making. Back in Game Maker, I think it was Game Maker 7 at that point. This would have been 2008 or 2009, something like that. Okay, I found one. Hello, Med Kuihul, welcome. One second. This is one of the first games I made. Let's see. This one was made in 2012. So I was a couple of years into making games at this point. I can't make the screen any bigger. And I also don't know what audio is coming through. Is there some audio coming through? Is there no audio in this game? Anyway, I don't know if you... I can't make this window any bigger. But Anyway, this game is basically just you walk around and kill zombies, and then you upgrade your fortifications. I've actually been tempted to do like a remake of this game. So you've got like your fortifications here. I've got $2, so I can place 1 brick. And then I press enter to go again. The controls are very weird. Like, it's W and S to move. W always moves you in the direction that you're facing, and S always moves you in the back direction. So it's not W, A, S, and D. So you have to like move by looking. And then you kill these little zombie guys. This game is incredibly boring because it's a wide open area. And there are, like, you just have to wait until the zombies come. So it's kind of, you don't get a whole lot of money either. So like, I put like these fortifications, that's the whole point of the game, and yet you're not getting enough money to do it. But eventually, you know, if you play the game long enough, which, oh, and also there's money that they drop, and it's like totally imbalanced because I just got like 30 coins or 30 gold or whatever. But anyway, that's the game. And the idea is you eventually build up your defenses. You can get like a merchants and stuff, and you could get like, oh, I can't buy this guy yet. I don't know what, you could get like a turret though. You can get a little marine guy who will shoot zombies for you. So the whole idea was that, you know, it's like a zombie wave survival where you build up your defenses over time and you start populating your defenses with like turrets and stuff. So I think it's like, honestly, I think this game could be pretty fun as just like a kind of little demo game. Like if I built this in Godot and took everything I learned about making games and just made this in like 48 hours or whatever, I think it would be really fun as like just like a little flash game. You know, you could throw in some like, you know, that 3-choice upgrade style as well. But eventually the zombies will start coming. Here, I can place a little marine now. Let's see. Let's put him here. Let's see if he does any work. Anyway, this was made in 2012, so that was 14 years ago. I was, how old was I in 2012? I was 17? 16? Oh, he moves. I didn't know he moved. I thought he was just a tower kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if I took everything I knew about game development now and I basically just used this idea and just made it better, I think it could be a really fun, just like little time waster game for, you know, 10 or 15 minutes. You know, get a lot more effects going on, make the environment more interesting, give players enough resources to actually build a base, get the zombies coming up faster, you know, add a bunch of particle effects, give you all kinds of weapons. I do like the idea though, because like the only way you can collect money is by going out and collecting it. So I would definitely keep that. Like you know what I would do? I would make all of the zombies drop some amount of money and then require you to go out into the danger to collect the money before it disappears. And then you could make your turrets about like trying to clear up some area so you can do that. But anyway, that's the game. I hear something. Is there something? I don't hear anything. Oh, wait. Oh, there is sound effects. I had my sound down. Anyway, that's the game. Oh, and now this is gonna go away. The zombies bleed a lot, yeah. Concept is cool. Yeah, I think it could be good with a lot of work. Looks cool. Have you noticed patterns in how players choose between 10% damage and upgrades that unlock a new ability? Do you have to protect players from themselves when designing those choices? I don't know, honestly. Like, I'm just like not really much of a fan of upgrades that are just like, oh, plus X% of this stat. I think it's better if there are meaningful risk-reward decisions to make. Because if it's just a straight stat increase, then not only is that not super intriguing from a player standpoint, but it also may just be the obvious option if you have other choices. Like, of course I'm going to take the damage increase. Why, you know, I don't need magazine size increase. I'm fine on ammo, so I'm going to just take the free damage. It's just not a very interesting decision, right? So if I were going to design an upgrade for like that kind of game, I would try to make it like play style based rather than just straight stat improvements. And now the cat is being annoying. Goodness gracious. Okay, so what am I gonna do about this? Okay, let me get the cat. Can I work now, please? Can I work now? Are you happy? There's the cat I showed you. Anyway, back to this issue. I don't know how I'm going to clip this stuff at all. I'm still... So I think I actually do need to do what I was thinking about doing, which is I need to move the center container into here. Oh, this is going to be a pain. Move the center container here, make this the scene root, disconnect that, move all these up. This is like the inner container or whatever. This center container will make this a custom minimum size of... Actually, I don't know. I almost need like another... See, this is not going to work either, because this inner container is doing layout work. I mean, fundamentally the problem here... Can I just... I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't know if this is going to work. Because this inner container is used for layout purposes, and everything is in here. But this will grow as this board control grows, or as this board container grows. So if I do plus 72, well no, let's do... I guess it doesn't really push anything down. I just need to exclude this board from being clipped. Oh man. I don't want to have to like mangle my entire scene just to get this clipping to work properly. Maybe I should take a different approach to the quick move. So the other approach to the quick move is to change where the card is when it's being quick moved in terms of the parent that it has. I don't want to mangle this whole scene. What happens if I do something like... No, that's not going to work either. Okay, well, I am absolutely stumped on this. I mean, there's a lot of ways for me to do it. I just don't like any of the solutions in particular. One solution is create another margin container, copy the properties of this one, paste those here. Okay, we put the floor in here. Then we say clip contents to on. But I want this to be 130. See, that pushes everything out though. That's not what I want. It's like I need another... I don't like this at all. I really don't like this. I need another margin container, which has a custom minimum size of 130. I remove clip contents here. I put clip contents there. But now I have to duplicate this. This pattern here. So we keep the board there. Right, so I need to put another one here. This would be the foreground container. Well, yeah, let's do this. This just becomes a margin container. We've got the inner container, foreground container, margin container, and then we just take anything that's not the board control and we move this down here. And I think we need to change these ones to be layout, transform, container sizing. Oh, really? Container sizing. What? Right, the center container is... I mean, I would basically need to take these and just like set them to some kind of larger value. Do you see how weird that is though? Make those ignore just in case. So, I mean, maybe it's not that bad. So it is being clipped now correctly, and if I did it right, well, I can make one improvement here. I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. And then the center container here, we'll set this to 300. Oh, no, I do need to set those. Never mind. Because the center container is weird. Honestly, why am I even using a center container? This is the only one that needs to be centered. Let's change this. Okay. Oh, and I need to update all these export properties again. Anyway, we set the margin container to be like that. We remove the custom minimum size there. This one can remain, yeah, shrink center. Then we can get rid of the custom minimum size there. All right, let's see what I broke. I'm gonna need to copy over all those properties again. Oh, this needs to be a margin container. All this work just to get some clipping. Hello, Prosto. Welcome. Good to see you. How you doing? So yeah, we've got some problems here. Object reference, clickable control. This one. Shadow board position. Also need to mark that one as unique name. Okay, so it's pretty wrong, but the good news is that the clipping is working and the quick move works. So if I move items across the boards, they're not clipping. If I quick move to the alchemy, it's not clipping. Goodness gracious. Well, I mean, I don't really like that solution, but I think it's okay. Now the real question is, do I even need... Do I need this margin container here? Can I set the custom maximum size to 130 on this one? To bring that over, and then I can get rid of this margin container, and then get rid of the alchemy container. Okay, well that cleans up a little bit at least. Alchemy container. So I need to get all these properties now. Can I find where those went? Here. This is the nice thing about Godot being text editable. There we go. So now if I go back into my alchemy container, all of those should be reconfigured correctly. Excellent. What else? I don't think I need any other export things to be set. Okay, we have our liquid back. Margin container, anim slide fade. Anim toggle showed behind parent. Oh. This needs to change. Am I playing the slide in? Yeah, so I need to fix that. Okay. I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will fix this. So we'll see what's going on with this. I don't know why it didn't update. It should, I mean, it looks like this node path is just pointing to where it should be, but it's still targeting the inner container for some reason. I don't know why that's happening, so I may just have to rekey these, which is okay. I can do that. But anyway, be right back in 3 minutes and we'll continue on. Okay, I'm back. Let's figure out what's going on with these methods here. Let's just add a new call method track here. Copy this key, paste that key. We need another call method track. Copy this key. Oops. Paste it there. Copy this key, paste it there. Delete those. Then I have to do the same thing for slide out. I wonder why that... Oh, does this just need to be... Ah, okay. That should work. So I didn't need to do that. All right. Let's see what happens. Now the board is rendering behind the pot. Toggle show behind parent. Foreground container, background container. I think I need to change these. So we grab anim, what is it? Anim toggle show behind parent. I think this can just become foreground container show behind parent, background container show behind parent. Is that all I need to do? I probably doing something wrong, but let's see. All right, thanks for joining Ninja Link. Hope you have a great day. Do you have one over scope feature in Alchemortis that you'd like to include, but it's just too much work for now? I mean, I would like to investigate how to introduce maybe some light PvP elements. Maybe not like PvP, but online connectivity elements, if that makes sense. Like if you could, during your run, come across like an item from a player's build that you can just get, right? Like, oh, here's, you know, a player at a similar point in the game to you had this build. Take one of their cards, you know what I mean? I think that could be pretty cool. But I think that's, yeah, that's out of scope. Also, I just noticed another problem here, which is that these items are not going behind. They're not going behind the pot anymore. Why is that the case? Animation card root. Where is that? Add to tree animation card root. Yeah, that's working. I don't understand this. We're going to print the z-index and see what's going on here. I wonder if the z-index is still being manipulated incorrectly. Oh, now it's fine. Wait a minute. Let me try it with a big one. Oh, they're not fading out anymore either. What in the heck, man? Oh. This is why I didn't want to modify the z-index. I might have to just come up with a different approach for this. I might just undo that commit that I just made. Yeah, that's like rendering on top of the pot now. What in the heck? Yeah, the z-index is 1. Yeah, the z-index is 1. So is my... Did I not do my cleanup tween properly? Oh, right. If modify z-index, that. Okay, so I just had a dumb mistake in there. Okay, so that should fix that issue at least. Will that also fix the selling, I wonder? Because there's no displacement being animated, so let's see if that works. Okay, that works. All right, good. And this should also fix issues where they're not going into the pot. Okay, that makes sense. So let's see if this works. Yeah, that's working. Okay, add item, skeleton, dragon. Sell all these bad boys. Do this. Let's just do it again because it was only an issue after the second time I did it. Okay. Good. So, have I solved all the clipping issues? I don't know. I'm still not in love with this approach, but I really think this is probably the only way to do this. Now, do I still need... Let me think about this. Alchemy container. Floor shadow root. Do I still need floor shadow root? No, we can get rid of this. We don't need that. What else? Floor root. I don't need floor root anymore. So we can get rid of that. Clickable control, that's fine. Okay. It's time for that there dang old gamer dev once again. Yes, indeed. That's really cool. Maybe you can simply do it with Azure or Firebase. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I haven't really given it much thought about how I would do it, you know. I think I would have to have some kind of light anti-cheat mechanism, or at least like, you know, because if like people end up modding the game and creating these stupid OP cards and then you're like playing the normal vanilla version and you get one, like I think that's a consideration that needs to be made as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't given it much thought, but yeah, maybe something like that. But anyway, quick question. What are some of the reasons you chose C# over GDScript for this very cool project? Hello, Madola Mike. C# basically just for the structure that it gives me. That's basically it. Like being able to use interfaces and proper abstract classes and extension methods and link, all that kind of stuff is just really helpful for organizing and structuring this project in particular. So yeah, I think it just provides me with the tools that I feel comfortable with for building the game. I mean, it should be possible to build a game like this in GDScript. I just think it'd probably be very difficult to do that. Oh, let me test one other thing. Death Orchid. Okay. I think it's all working. All right, fix clipping. All right, so that one should be done. Bug with auto open inventory after closing and force reopen. Let's take a look at this one. This is another animation related issue. Oh, thank you, Mandola Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you for the tier 1 sub gift. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. That's very generous. So here's the issue that's next. There's a bug in my animations here where when I open this, let me see, how can I reproduce this? If I open this and I close, I forgot, wait, what did I say? After closing and force reopen. After closing and force reopen. So I go here. Oh, okay, I think I understand it. Oops, it crashed. Okay, yeah, there it is. So if it's gonna force, okay, so I know what's happening. So I'm manually closing the drawer at the same time that it gets force opened. What happens is that it actually kills the tween that is driving the alchemy. So if I go to my drawer UI, try open. So the inventory toggle tween is a big tween that tweens everything. So it collects all the tweens and then it puts them into a parallel tween and then subtweens all of those. So the idea is that I can have 3 different tweens potentially going for all the different drawers. And I guess my idea was that if I wrap those all up in a single tween, I can stop all of them with, you know, a kill if valid. And so that would just, because every tween is a subtween of this master tween here, if I kill the master tween, all the subtweens stop as well. But the problem with that approach is that I may not have a new tween for alchemy. So what it does is it just ends up killing the in-progress alchemy tween, but that is not taken over then by a new tween, so it just gets frozen in whatever state it was at. So I think the approach to do here then is just to check, just do individual checks. So I think in here, actually, instead of having like a big inventory toggle tween, we get rid of that. Oh, I'm going to need to store each tween individually, actually. Okay, well, that's fine. So alchemy toggle tween, private tween, inventory toggle tween, and alchemy. No, not alchemy. Board toggle tween. Okay, so we store all those tweens separately. Oh, I still called this inventory toggle tween. Let's just call this 2 so I know. I know to update that. Okay. So this is alchemy tween. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm checking if any of the tweens are not null, then kill it and start it again. But I don't think I want to do that, actually. I think what I want to do is we get rid of this and we just go straight into the loop of the tweens. List tween. I'm going to try. I don't actually know if this is possible. Inventory tween, ref, inventory toggle tween 2. Does that work? No. I may just have to do separate if checks. If inventory tween is not equal to null, inventory tween kill if valid, inventory, no, that's wrong. Inventory toggle tween basically that. If alchemy tween is not equal to null, alchemy toggle tween dot kill if valid, alchemy toggle tween is equal to alchemy tween, and then if board tween So I think that's basically it. So I just check each one individually, and then in here, we'll just do the same exact thing. It's a copy pasta, and then we can rename this back to that. So I think that should fix the issue. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, if a tween, when I call one of these try like open alchemy or whatever, try open alchemy, if this returns null for whatever reason, and it can return null, basically if it's already open, it will return null. So I'm going to say, if this is null for whatever reason, we're not going to do anything if there's an existing tween. We're just going to let the existing tween do its thing. If there is no existing tween, then that's fine. Like we're basically going to just say, if we're not doing anything new with the drawer when we try to open it, if there is an existing tween, we'll just let it play through. And if there is an existing tween and we have a new tween to overwrite, we will kill the existing tween and then allow that overwrite to take place. So hopefully, oh, it didn't work. That's cool. My board just straight up disappeared. My board just pieced out. Oh, I'm assigning it to the alchemy tween, that's why. Oops. That would explain that. I was so sure that was going to work, and I think I still am sure. I just need to assign the variables correctly. Okay, so let's do this. Go here. All right, I think we're good now. Yeah, that is definitely working now, because that, I literally just created a situation where that would have broken in the previous version. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's working. Yep, it's definitely working. It's definitely working. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay. I'm going to call that one fixed. Fix alchemy drawer being stuck during during force open if already animating out. Thank you, Swirl. Appreciate that. Alrighty, so what else we got? Oh, okay. So I finished basically all the immediate bugs that I wanted to fix. Bringing up pause menu while board inspector is playing out. Nothing can be clicked and the screen is not dimmed. Oh, this one is no longer relevant, so we can delete this. Although, yeah. Artifact ability updates state on combat victory. This is still a bug that will pop up in the future, but it's not relevant anymore because I changed how the Iron Gauntlet works. Hands artifact may not work with items that project. Okay, anyway. Let's maybe do... Let's see. Maybe we'll do a card. I'm going to see if I can find something that I want to do. Actually, instead of doing a new card, let me do a reagent pass. So this one. Do a reagent pass, give them all interesting query directions. So some reagents in the game, they just affect the entire board. And actually I can go to my card inspector. I'm gonna really lean into the idea of reagents being like a mini puzzle game. So I'm gonna give them all, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to give them all some interesting conditions to make them work. So if we go to ally reagent. Okay, here's all the reagents in the game. So this is remove all abilities from all items. So I don't want to do all items anymore. I want to do, like, I want to give this a specific directionality, right? That's already adjacent. This is just a blanket additional 15% crit chance. So I probably don't want to do that one. That one already has one. That's right adjacent. This is just selecting one item randomly, so that's good. Adjacent non-reagent items will not be altered by alchemy. Honey, we can give a better... Yeah, okay. So let's just go through and start updating these things. So Alkahest. Let's go to Alkahest. Alchemy remove abilities. I don't think this is used anywhere else, so what I can do is create the query target provider. Let me think about this. Where is... Get target cards. Is this ever necessary? Why do I have this here? I don't know. Okay. Okay, we'll do options. So for Alchemortis, we'll do top adjacent. So we'll do options.query directions. Oops. Okay, query directions. Board inventory component.query directions.top adjacent. And then we'll do add abilities.add query target provider. And then in contribute effect, we will do, this is non-reagent input items. Let me do something here. Public static query target provider create for non-reagent, because this is an operation that I'm doing quite frequently. So we will do var provider is equal to new query target provider. We will do provider. We'll set those, grab the description keywords, and then we'll do configure with provider.query options, and then we will return provider. So here I can do create for non-reagent. And that will just simplify my life a little bit. Simplify my life. Okay, so for each var target card in query target provider dot get cached targets, that should work now. So let's just give that a shot. We're going to add the Alchemortis here. It didn't work because I don't have enough room. Okay, Alchemortis, remove all abilities. So this needs to change, but it should only be targeting the top adjacent. So I do this, that should clear all the abilities from that. There we go. Oh, that's a bug as well. I need to handle that. Newly added empty ability slots via Alchemortis or Gemstone are not showing the new ability animation. So we'll fix that. The point is, though, that it works. So that's good. We just need to change this. Remove all abilities from query target provider dot to query string template 0 force card singular true. So we build this. Got to get them translations working, you know? Okay, let's see. Remove all abilities from top adjacent allied non-reagent item. That's not quite right, is it? This needs to be from... So I'm not really using the query target provider here. Maybe I should just use force card plural. Would that work better? Remove all abilities from top adjacent. Yeah, I think that would be fine. So we build this again. Oh, what am I even doing? From top adjacent allied non-reagent items. Cool. Okay. So we update Alchemortis query targeting. Let's do honey now. Alchemy protect cards. Let's do query target provider dot create for non-reagent. We'll just try to unify this as much as possible. We want to use right adjacent and bottom adjacent. Right adjacent and bottom adjacent non-reagent items will not be altered by alchemy. Okay, let's add honey in there and see what that does. I should build the translations. Hello, Dimitri. Welcome, welcome. Just wanted to say that your courses are really cool. I bought them all because I wanted to onboard for Godot. You are a great teacher and good luck with your game. It looks amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the courses. What? Through an exception? Oh. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for your message. First of all, I did this wrong. This needs to be board inventory component dot query directions dot right adjacent, or bottom adjacent rather. Am I not using right? No, I'm using right adjacent. I wonder why that doesn't work. Let's take a look. Object reference not set to an instance of object. Oh, yeah. There we go. Those stupid mistakes. I wonder how much time is burned across the entire nation with just those stupid mistakes. Okay. This should work now. So let's see. Honey, right adjacent and bottom adjacent non-reagent items will not be altered by alchemy. So I put that guy there and put that guy there. I can basically preserve those things, and I'm basically guaranteed to get fire and heal on the skeleton warrior if I do that. Yeah, there we go. Fire and heal, and then these are unchanged. Excellent. Good. Very nice. Okay, update. Honey targeting. That may end up being a little bit too powerful, but I think honey is not super common anyway. All right, let's take a look at the other reagents and see what else we've got to change here. Reagent. Absorb and remove one random from one adjacent item. Adds the following ability to items on the left edge of the board. Echo. I might limit Bathead to be a random item on the left edge of the board. Because I like mixing and matching those things too, because then it's like you have to pay attention that you don't have too many items on the left edge. Like you have to get the item that you want precisely on the left edge, and then basically if you want echo on only that item, you have to leave the rest of the left column open or fill it with reagents or something. So I'm gonna do like a mix of these kinds of things, make it more of like a puzzle. What's going on, dog? Do you want to say hi to the stream? Do you want to say hi to the stream? Come here. Oh. Are you going to say hi? What's going on? Oh, your face is getting cut off. Good boy. Okay, so let's do the Bathead now. So Bathead, I'm gonna change this one. Alchemy added ability. Query target provider dot query options dot limit is equal to 1. Is that all I need to do for the Bathead? Bathead. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's going to work. I love it when it works the first time. How many hours are you putting in daily on Alchemortis? I would say probably on a normal day, probably 6 to 8 hours a day. Some days I do more, like some days, you know, I'll do 6 hours in the afternoon and then like I'll get a burst of energy in the evening and I'll go and work on it from like 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. But I would say that probably, if I had to guess, I'm probably averaging somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 hours a day. Which is, you know, it's not a whole lot. Like, I think that's basically like a normal 9 to 5 job. But, you know, there are some days where I only do 4 hours of work. There are some days where I do 10 hours of work or 11 or whatever. It kind of depends on what I have going on that day, if I'm feeling particularly inspired or not. Or, you know what, like usually the days where I work on the game less are when I have like something that's really tricky that's like an immediate focus of the game. So like the combat log is a good example. Like I kept reworking the combat log and like redoing things and like updating how the data is flowing. And I just couldn't get it to work. Like I just kept struggling with that. And so it was really hard to just like dump time into it because I was like not sure of my approach. So on days like that, I usually don't put in as much time. So it all depends. But if everything's going well and I'm like really excited about this one thing I want to work on or whatever, then usually those are the days where I work longer. But it's not, you know, it's not like like I said, it probably averages out to like a normal work week, 40 hours, maybe 50 hours, something like that. The thing that I'm finding compared to like working a normal job is like, for something creative like game dev, sometimes it's like it's not super productive to like force yourself to stick to a rigid schedule. You know, I work long when I feel like working long, and I work more short when I feel like working more short, if that's the way you want to say it. And then sometimes, you know, I'll be like, okay, I need to take a break, and I'll go and do something else, and then some inspiration will hit me, or I'll have an idea, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go do that now. It ebbs and flows, you know what I mean? Okay, so Bathead adds the following ability to one allied non-reagent item on the left. Oh, this needs to be random. I forgot to make it random. Completely agree. Yeah, I think creative things are a little bit different. Like, it's not, you can't just work 8 hours a day nonstop on something that's fundamentally creative. Like, you kind of have to pace yourself and do other things and not force yourself to try to do something if you're not sure about it. Okay. One random allied non-reagent item on the left edge of the board. So if I put both of these guys here, it should only select one. That one got echo. That one got applied to fire. Very cool. All right. So update Bathead. Okay. All right. I'm going to end the stream there. It is just about dinner time for me, so I'm going to go get that going. But if you're liking the streams, if you're liking the content, check out Alchemortis on Steam. I would appreciate a wish list. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for the raids. That was awesome. And yeah, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you there. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, rest of your evening, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye for now.